Yo, Eddie. Um, yeah, I don't know. This is just gonna be like a ramble type thing. Um, just for me, I guess it's just like about something I've been thinking about a lot for maybe 2 years on and off, but it's been getting like really intense lately. I guess this summer when I had way more time to like spend with myself. This side of my hair looks really weird on this camera. Strange. Um, yeah, I feel really nostalgic to like I want to say like old internet, but it's not even like old. I'm like really thinking a lot and about like the 2020 2021 era of like internet like artistry specifically, and this weird like era we had back then where obviously due to lockdown reasons and stuff people had to like make do with like all the stuff that exists back then, like online listening parties, Discords were going really crazy back then. Like these live streamed events. The fucking time where Young Lean was in the back of like a truck doing a concert there. The fucking 100 gigs Minecraft concerts and shit like that. Um, but even more like just how at the same time like a weird underground wave started happening with like a lot of musicians where you had like the fucking extremely dead Sigil Core Hex movement that was happening. You had fucking, I don't know, I think Pachinko was like starting to get uncovered in 2020, 2021 around that time. Like what else? Like obviously breakcore community was going insane. Like back then, like 20 in the beginning of 2022, so what's happening? A lot of people were inspired by that and started making, and then this fucking massive jungle breakcore movement started happening with a bunch of artists in that direction. To the point that like that entire sound, like all these fucking things I named just then are just so like streamlined and cookie cutter at this point. A lot of these just became like sounds that people use on TikTok and stuff. Or back then, like I remember how it gave me this whimsy to like find stuff like I don't know, like Yabujin for the first time. I think like how do you even make stuff like this? How do you even come up with videos like this? And whenever I like remember stuff like that and then like watch like re-uploads of like Yabujin videos, DJ Grotaza or whatever the fuck videos, the next recommended things are stuff like Yabujin type beat tutorial, how to make videos like Yabujin. And they've distilled that stuff, and it hurts when something that gave you so much whimsy and like felt so insanely special reaches the point in like the I guess the life cycle of styles in general, where it just becomes like streamlined, pre-packaged, fucking type. It reached like the type beat era. You know what I mean? Like it just becomes like what is a good word? Hackneyed. Does hackneyed mean what I think it means? I think hackney is the right word, right? Hackneyed. Oh my god, not there's a death metal band called Hackneyed. I want the definition of the word. Lacking in freshness and originality. I'm so good, bro. I'm so eloquent. I'm sure there's a more normal word. Overused, overdone, worn out. Plat. 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 Platitudinous. Platitudinous. What the fuck?
Platitudinous.
Platitudinous. I've never heard that shit in my life. Platitudinous. But you know what I mean? It just becomes cliche, and like it's hard to accept when something that felt like special and nobody's ever gonna like And you will never be able to show that shit to your homies. You cannot show that shit to anyone that's like special to me. That's special to this little cave that I've built myself around this fucking time where I only have like homeschooling. I cannot go outside. I'm not hanging out with anyone. I just have my fucking internet. I have fucking whatever people were doing, Animal Crossing, and these weird rabbit holes that I'm finding on the internet that have become way more that I'm people are getting way more traction to because of the fact that everyone is just spending a lot of time online. And we've reached a life cycle now, like 4 years post COVID, where um the like initial seeds are planted by like what was happening to like Zoomers during COVID have spread into like the full effects of that time is it's just becoming has become like solidified. It has reached grounding, so that it's not this like special, unique like what are we doing? What even is this like surreal time anymore? It's just what the culture is now, and that's really disappointing. And but it is to be expected. But I could just cannot help but like feel nostalgic for when things felt special, like especially for me now. Like during that time, I was like 19, 20, so I wasn't like a super teenager per se, but things definitely felt different from how they feel now that I'm 23 years old. Like my brain functions differently from what it did when I was like 19, 20 years old. Um, Responsibilities are different, and the amount of energy I've left, and how much I can still feel whimsy about stuff like that. Well, I feel like been there, done that. It's like very slim. There's just not a lot of things like that giving me the same like excitement, the same oomph that certain like digital weird art things that I found on the internet did back then. Especially when it comes to collaboration, it felt like people were like, if you ever did music or something like that yourself, it was like really easy to like just join like a community or build your own with like the tight knit internet friends you would make, because that was like also, at least for me, way more of a thing back then than it is now, where we just have like a Discord or something, multiple Discord, or in these bubbles on Twitter, and people just like fuck with each other's music and just gas each other up, and then eventually you can like collaborate because you also found Suicide in your fucking YouTube recommendations one day and decided, oh well, I'll also make jungle now. Which was not me, okay? That was not me. I already knew that person from the Death Grips, this fucking mashups. I forgot the fucking name, mashup days. Um, I used to actually feel like special about that. Like I actually used to like care about that, and was kind of butthurt that people were like riding the cloud of that person out more, even though I was like there from the very beginning. But I guess just in hindsight, it becomes like very silly how important those things used to be to me, because now it's like I feel like I have nothing to show for myself, especially when it comes to like the work I did to those movements, to the label I used to work for, like webnet label. It's like things where if I just tell them, people have no idea. They sound way more impressive than they actually are. But it doesn't even matter, because like all these things that I felt like I was part of, like this movement where I felt like, okay, this is it. I feel like I'm part of like a movement, a thing that is happening that is like kind of making some kind of shift somewhere in culture, and I'm like a part of it. I'm not necessarily like the protagonist of the whole thing, but I have like something to do with this. I'm a cog in this machine. This whole thing is just like completely dispersed, and it makes sense. Like a lot of the bigger musicians, for example, like they're just glad COVID is over, they can actually play shows probably. But a lot of people are just kind of on the back burner, just dissipated and now just like somewhere in the void with barely any presence on the internet anymore. And also the internet has just changed so much at this point. Discord's just not the same anymore. Like I don't even have like good explanation for that. Maybe it's just the popularity of it. Maybe it's just my subjective view on it. Maybe it's just a lot of people that used to be in these bubbles just don't want to fuck with online shit, just go older and stuff. At this point, I just cannot relate to this generation that uses Discord now. Twitter was obviously fucked. Like Twitter had such a wonderful like culture, at least for me. Like people always said like, oh, Twitter sucked back then. Like even back then, people were like, oh, Twitter is so bad, Twitter's blah blah. But it had this wonderful thing where you have these bubbles, and these bubbles like sometimes overlap, and you can form like, I don't know, it just had a wonderful way of like connecting to other people based on just like interests and just fucking with each other's vibes and what they're doing. You know, it was less based on you and what you are, and more of just like you could be anonymous. You can play a character. You can do a play. You can just post. You can just it's just way more. It it was a space that was way more tolerant to like accepting people's like the little performative dances like people I was around would just do on the internet that I just don't feel now, where I'm just like way more, I guess, normal. Um, Especially since I've been a student, especially since I've been like in college, where it's like okay, hang out with more people in real life that are like normal and did not were never have never been like weird online ghouls like I have. Um, what was the point I was making? I guess it doesn't matter. I'm just going to tangents. It's just like they will never like understand because now it's like Instagram. That's like the platform where if I meet someone at a party or a club or whatever, we just someone fucks with my vibe to ask me, hey, give me your Instagram. It's like stuff based like it's like a platform that exists to make you feel bad about what other people are doing or make other people feel bad about what you're doing to counteract the fear of feeling bad about what other people are doing because stories and stuff. I never felt like FOMO on Twitter because it wasn't connected to people's like real lives necessarily. It's just like this wonderful escapist platform where people could just be whatever the fuck they are and wasn't necessarily tied to their real lives. And I kind of miss that. I also feel I can't really afford to do that, and again, like I am not interested in finding like a new space at this point. My space says have largely dissipated, and I'm just have more responsibilities in life now, and I just really am not interested in just like neating it off anymore. I actually want to get somewhere in life at this point. I'm not really interested in hikikomori lifestyle at all anymore. I don't want to say at all. I have this weird, like, wonderful nostalgia for it, and I still appreciate like the aesthetics of like hikikomoriism, and I find a lot of the what's the word of like at this point I even forgot all the like 4chan terminology people would use for like people that are like really into their fantasies and stuff. I just wish how special engaging with your fantasies and engaging with other people's fantasies and connecting with people online through those felt back then. And I'm just like not a part of that anymore, and I will continue to be less and less a part of that, I feel, as I engage more in real life and become like a healthy, normal person. And that sucks, It just feels inauthentic, like even just artistically, like I guess the next logical step would be to carry on what I learned from what I did online into like real life, engage with local scenes and stuff. But again, like I feel like they will never understand. There's this inherent like desire to like for me to want to like carry all the baggage that I took with me from all these experiences that hold so dear to me to the next scene that I would want to like identify with. But I guess a smarter move would just be to like adapt, but it just feels so fake at this point, and I have already done the thing that felt like most important to me, where it's like I'm not interested in starting over at this point. I've done so much, and the bummer is just that I've done a lot of stuff that I feel like will never carry over into actual like real life. You know, engage with real life like cultural people. They're like DJs. They're like proper musicians that have shows and stuff, and they hang out with their like friends and live in sublets and like travel and just do all this like extroverted shit where I cannot do that. And they're definitely like really introvert, really shy, and people in like the art industry, of course, but like a lot of them rely on just having day ones. But my day ones existed in the computer and they're just somewhere else in a different continent now. A lot of them, I don't even know what they're doing. Some of them I know are literally dead. And it's just a weird, surreal, weird thing where it's like, okay, all these experiences I used to have, they might as well just be like psychosis or something because they were never really there. They were never really tangible. It was just a screen giving me these emotions. It was like a hallucinatory state that I was in for years, merely induced by pixels on a screen that change colors. And that's crazy. Like I would literally travel to take to like wherever the fuck some friends live. They're like kind of near, not like a completely different continent, or have to pay like 4 digits for a plane ticket or something, just to confirm that those are real fucking people. That I wasn't just like experiencing psychosis. That I don't continue to experience psychosis when I text someone in Discord that has an anime profile picture. It's just it's odd. It's an odd generation to be in, and I don't really feel like understood or heard at this point. But back then, I had like I did not feel like that at all. I felt like if I could just log in and immediately just be like with the people where it's okay, yeah, those are my guys. They get me. They find the same stuff funny that I found funny. They like the same weird, obscure, stupid shit I like. They also like to just open fucking DAWs in their free time. And they're also just fucking losers. And it was a wonderful thing, you know? And now I carry this huge burden of like having to be cool and appealing to normal people. And I wish I didn't have to do that. Like, I'm insanely jealous of like the few people I know that actually have like a real life environment where they get to hang out with like where they're like freak people and they also have like freak people around them physically. I feel like that's mainly like a prevalence thing in like the United States because the United States are mainly where like a lot of um these bubbles were like mainly located. And now someone in just like a random European country is just like way less like that you actually know people. I only knew like one people in real life that was like fully into the same internet bubbles as I am, but like they had issues. And that's also like a reality. A lot of people in these fucking bubbles tend to have issues in real life, which is why they engage in like internet escapism so that they're like way more bearable online than they are in real life. And I think I at some point realized that, and because of that, wanted to like disengage with these communities and actually like be someone in real life. And I guess I achieved that, but like the nostalgia is still like having a grip on me. I kind of still wish I could. I just miss it. I just miss this feeling. This wonderful like niche internet experience feeling that I just can't seem to replicate. It's like a hit that it's like a high that I'll never reach ever again. Uh, excuse me. And that sucks. That sucks. Like, I don't even feel like it would make sense to try to replicate it. It just feels unhealthy. I just feel like I need to let go, but I don't know how long it's gonna take. Yeah. And I think that's it. Yeah.